Morning guys, today's the day we're going to cook the roasts. So the lamb's been out of the fridge for at least an hour. It's been about an hour and a half. So that's marinated really nice. The oven is on 160. It's been preheated for about half an hour. So first thing we're going to do is, as you can see here, as the recipe says, I've got all the carrots and the garlic and the onions and everything else on that list in this tray. I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Don't go too heavy. Nice bit of rapeseed oil. Just give that a nice mix. And then add your 100 ml of water. Place your lamb on top, just like that. Just make sure your herbs are sort of underneath some veg, otherwise they'll burn. And don't forget, we're not putting in tomatoes until later. Now, just want to cover this with tin foil. Make sure it's nice and tight. Sorry, my oven's beeping at me. It's always doing that. Okay, now I'm going to put this in there for in total it's going to be for 4 hours. And every hour we're going to take it out, carefully remove the tin foil and give it a little bit of a baste. And then an hour before it's finished, we're going to add the tomatoes and take the foil off. Okay, now the lamb's in. Next thing you want to do is put potatoes on. So in here is the Jersey rolls, which have been washed, but wash them really well because they can be really dirty. And you just want to season them with cold water, season them with a little bit of salt, and then you just want to bring that to a simmer, and then simmer that for, around 15 minutes, but keep checking, maybe longer, 20 minutes, but basically when they're cooked. So when you can squeeze them, they just break apart, that's when they're ready. So get them to that point, and then drain them in a colander, get rid of the water, and leave the potatoes to air dry in the colander until we're going to cook them later. So it's been 1 hour. I've taken it out the oven, carefully removed the tin foil. Be careful because it is hot. And then if you just want to come in here a bit closer, I'm just going to tilt it like that, so all of the juices run to the bottom, which makes it easier for you to baste it. I wouldn't stand here doing it for too long. I'll probably give it around 30 seconds max. It's quite a satisfying job. And when that's done, carefully put the tin foil back on. What I do is just lay it over, make sure your bone's in, sorry. And then quick, it doesn't burn. So 2 pieces on the bottom first. And then the one over the top. And that goes back into the oven for another 3 hours, basting each basting on every hour. So it's been 3 hours. Now it's time to add the quartered plum tomatoes. So again, carefully take the tray out of the oven. Again, close it, keep it heated. Carefully remove the tin foil. See, it's getting smaller and smaller each time you baste it and take it out the oven, which is good. Now, you just want to get these tomatoes in here. Let them roast. This is going to be the base of the sauce, all this lovely flavour of vegetables and juice. So, tin foil back on again. Now turn your oven up to 180 for the remaining hour. So while the lamb's in the oven for the last hour, now's a good time to get your asparagus prepped. So basically, I've already done my green and done my white, so it's 3 bunches of each. So with the green, I'm going to show you how to prep both of them. So with the white first, you just want to cut around 1 inch off from the base, and you're going to throw that away, and then do the same to the green. So that goes in the bin. Now the green is now ready. The white you need to peel. So starting from about here, so you can leave that sort of like 1 inch on the top, and just, if you've got a peeler that's quite blunt, it's the best peeler that you can use. You don't want to take off too much. You want to try and keep the shape nice and round. So go round the asparagus once, and then go round again. That's because white asparagus has quite a woody outside. So you're just getting rid of it, making it all nice and sweet. Okay, that's that one. I'll do one more for you. And while you're doing this, get a pan of boiling salted water on the go. And you also want, after you've peeled this, you want to get a bowl of ice water ready. So now the water's boiling, take the lid off and put your white asparagus in first. Just gently. Make sure it's boiling. And cook that for 2 minutes. Okay, so now it's been 2 minutes. So now you want to carefully take the asparagus out, place it onto the ice water, sorry. No rush, just be careful. You want to keep the water for the green asparagus. So once they're out, put the green asparagus in. Do that for 2 minutes. Now you drain the asparagus, so they're cold, they've been cooked for 2 minutes each, chilled into ice water for 4 to 5 minutes, then drain them onto kitchen paper. Now once that's been done, place them into a roasting tray, drizzle nicely with rapeseed oil, good seasoning and molten salt, don't be shy, and then black pepper. Give that a good mix. Lovely. Now what you're going to do is just leave that aside, because all it needs to be done now is put into the oven for around 5 to 10 minutes. So you're going to do that later on once the lamb is rested. So now the hour's up, that's the last hour. You want to remove the tray from the oven. Remove the tin foil. I'm going to put the lamb in the oven for 30 minutes with no foil. So I've taken it out of the oven after the 30 minutes, and now's your time. You just want to check that it's cooked. So what you want to do is just lift it up, and just with a fork, just make sure the meat's just really lovely and tender. If it isn't, just stick it back in, turn it down to 160 and cook it for a little bit longer. Each shoulder is different. So, but now mine's ready. So once it's ready, carefully move that onto a tray or plate to rest. And what we're going to do is cover that with tin foil. So a little bit about this lamb. This is spring lamb, and it's raised in a small farm in Essex. They're grass fed, which means the meat is really sweet and succulent. So now that's going to rest while we finish everything else. So first thing to do now, turn your oven up to 200 once it's cooked. Now you want to put this sauce on on the hob. If your tray doesn't work like this, put it all into a saucepan. So I want to get that all going. Right, once it's come up, turn it down a little bit. Now, I'm going to add a teaspoon fennel seeds. So now we're making the sauce. A little bit of white wine vinegar. Cook that down, add the tomato paste. Give that a good mix. And turn it back up. You just want to cook that tomato paste, cook it out for about 30 seconds. Now I'm going to add the flour. I'll give that a good mix. What the flour does, it's the thickener for your sauce. That's what makes it a nice consistency, so it's not too runny. Again, you want to cook that flour up for about 30 seconds. If you've got an induction, you'll understand my pain on this one. Always keeps going off on its own. Or bleeping at me. We have a very interesting relationship, me and my stove. Okay, once that flour's been cooking for around 30 seconds, add your water. Give that a little mix. Make sure it's on. Turn itself off again. This will work. Stove, please. Right, once that's mixed, you want to let that come up to the boil. Turn it down just so it's simmering for around 10 minutes. And then once we've done that, we're going to pour everything into here through a sieve into a pan. Get all the flavour up. Push it with a little ladle, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Okay, so now that's ticking away. What you want to do is you want to put the tray. So I've had this tray with oil, garlic and rosemary sitting on the side, just cold, for about 2 hours, and it just infuses the oil. You can use fat or oil, it doesn't matter. Put that in your oven, 200, close it. While you're giving this the 10 minutes that you are. So now that's been 10 minutes, you can see it's all bubbling away nicely. Now I'm going to pour it through the sieve into that pan carefully. Tip it into the corner. If you have to stop because you get to the top, just then get the small ladle, just push it through. Just going to lean it up there. Make my life a little bit easier. And that's that. Get rid of that tray now. And what you want to do is just push all of this lovely flavour through your colander or sieve. So now the lamb sauce has been passed, it's come up to a simmer. As you can see, there's the fat is still on there. So I left the fat in the tray on purpose because it adds flavour, but now you want to take it out. So all you do, gently simmering, just get a little ladle, move it all to the outside, and then just very carefully, just try and take the oil, pour into this. Keep doing that until it's all gone. Okay, now it's time to take the tray that has the oil, garlic and rosemary out of the oven. It's going to be very hot. Don't forget the oven's at 200. take your potatoes and carefully place them in. You want to hear that sizzle. Salt, pepper, and now the magic trick. I have just this masher. You can use anything you want really. Just gently press on each potato, just to crush them slightly. And what you'll find is you'll get some nice little, where they've broken, the edges, they'll be nice and crispy. Do be careful, that oil is hot. If you squash them a little bit too much, doesn't matter. Trust me, they've become more crispier. Okay, now you've done that, place that back into the oven for a further 10 minutes. Okay, so now's the time when most people start to get a little bit flustered because you've got a lot of things going on. So let me just recap where we're at now. The lamb's resting in tin foil, the sauce is on, you've skimmed it and it's just coming down to the right consistency, nice and slowly, and just keep skimming it if any more fat comes to the top. Your asparagus is all ready to go in the oven, seasoned up. Potatoes have just gone in for 10 minutes. Now's the time to start our salad. So it's an salad of Isle of Wight tomatoes. So you've got some large red, some large yellow, and then some little baby ones. So all you want to do is just slice off the top. That's the top part there. And then it's a nice thick, sort of like 1/2 centimetre slices. So they've got a bit of texture to them. And just place them onto the plate. If you get to the end bit, you can still use it. And then carry on doing that until they're all sliced. So once you get to the small tomatoes, I'm just going to cut them in half. Whichever way you fancy, really. Doesn't really matter. I use a serrated knife with tomatoes because it makes cutting them a little bit easier. This is where you can be as creative as you want. So these tomatoes have been washed and left at room temperature since this morning. That brings out the flavour more. You never want to eat fridge cold tomatoes. Okay, once that's ready, I'm now going to make a very quick dressing for this. So this is just the white wine vinegar in, and then this is the rapeseed oil. So what I'm going to do is just put a cloth underneath there so it's leaning down. And then what I'm going to do to that is just slowly whisk in the oil until it starts to emulsify. If it doesn't emulsify, that's absolutely fine. Just add a touch more rapeseed oil. A nice dressing like that. Season with salt. And you're just going to spoon that onto the tomatoes. Just a little bit here, there and everywhere. You don't have to use it all. If you use it all, it might be a little bit swamped. That's completely up to you. That's just a lovely little vinaigrette. Now, with the courgette, take the sauce down a touch. I'm just going to get a peeler. These are washed. I'm just going to peel from top to bottom with a nice firm pressure. So you're getting full, lovely strips of courgette. Okay, so now you have your sliced courgette. Just should do one courgette. Stick it into the bowl. Touch of salt. Touch of rapeseed oil. Just gently dress that. Once that's dressed, just arrange it as you like on top of your tomato. If you can, try and get a little bit of height. And then the salad's ready. So now just put that next to the lamb. They're both ready now. So now the tomato salad's done, it's now time to turn over your potatoes. Close your oven so it keeps the heat in. Just very gently, carefully. Just try and roll them in that oil. Back in, and you want to cook these until they're golden brown. Once they're golden brown, just drain them through a colander. Keep the fat so you can fry it away later when it's cold. And that's it, put potatoes into a nice serving dish, they're ready. My potatoes are nearly golden brown, so I'm going to try and time this so when they come out together. So that's going to take, I reckon, about 5 to 6 minutes. Don't forget, they're 3/4 cooked. You just want to heat them up, get all the flavours going together. Okay, so I've just taken these out. They're in the oven for about 6 minutes, and then I have this wild garlic. So you just want to put this garlic in. Put that back into the oven until that garlic's all nice and wilted down, and I'll show you what's next. Now the asparagus was in the oven for about 2 minutes with the wild garlic. Just put a nice squeeze of lemon, tiny bit of rapeseed, and just give that a good mix. And then you want to put that into a nice serving dish. And this is exactly how I like to eat at home, especially on a Sunday. Put everything into nice serving dishes, middle of the table, job done. Okay, so now the potatoes are out. I've just drained them through a colander so that all the fat comes out. Now just gently, carefully, just try and discard all of the rosemary stalks. Don't worry about all the leaves, that's lovely. Pretty much when you've done that, just then pour them into your serving dish. And that's it. And there you have it, guys. Slow roast shoulder of lamb, white and green asparagus with wild garlic, Isle of Wight tomatoes with courgette, and a lovely Jersey raw potatoes roasted in the oven. Enjoy.